Hello, everybody. My name is Nick Bonner. It's Wednesday. We're back. It's 2026. We've got Cale here. Cale, where's Craig?
I hit the wrong button. Craig is right there.
Also,
Hey, it's good to be seen.
yeah, we're joined by Craig Bachmann, who is a professional arborist in the Pacific Northwest, an accomplished trainer and speaker. And we're going to learn all about what Craig's doing and some really interesting takes and have a good conversation. Craig, thanks for joining us today.
It's good to see you guys. Happy New Year.
Cale, you want to walk us through what our agenda is going to be for the show, and then we'll dive in with Craig.
Sure. We are going to talk with Craig a little bit about his experiences as an arborist, owning a business, becoming a trainer, some of the things that he has worked with. Oh, Nick has something that he's very excited about. He wants to talk about first with Craig. And then we're going to talk with Craig about some of the experiences that he's had leading a crew, training on leadership and safety. And then we have some products to talk about. We have some challenges for the TreeStuff Foot Locking Competition Challenge. And then we will, at the very end, as always, give out 3 $100 prizes for the treestuff.com/win promotion. I have a very difficult one this time around, so you'll be happy with it. Craig, how's it going?
Oh man, it's good to see you, Cale. It was wow. Was it only November when we were in St. Louis at Expo, yep. And here we are in 2026. We're doing great. You know, it's the typical winter ups and downs in the tree business here in Seattle. We've had some wind, but not quite enough. So people are huddled inside enjoying a warm fire and a cold glass of beer, I think. Yep. What we want them to do is think about trees. So if you have a good wind and rain dance, particularly a wind dance, please do that now.
Craig, I feel like I've known you most of my adult life at this point, but our audience might not know you so well. Tell us a little bit about how you got your start in the tree business and what that business looks like today and what that journey was, 60 seconds.
Sure. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I grew up in the Midwest. I was an outdoor kid. I went to summer camp in Colorado. I learned to rock climb. I went to college and I couldn't sit in business classes. And so I got a degree in environmental science, but my college career counselors were useless. So I ended up just getting a business job. And I did that for 12 years. And I woke up literally Christmas morning of 2011, having a midlife crisis, decided to close the small company I was running, made my wife and I both unemployed overnight. 2.5 weeks later, I was 35. I was married. I had a mortgage and I was dragging brush for a 21-year-old guy who was bombing it on me. And 14 years later, here we are. My wife and I own Tree 133 in Seattle. We employ 7 certified arborists. They're amazing. We do super cool big tree preservation. We do some very technical hazard tree removal, storm damage kind of stuff. And we're having the times of our life. Did I make sense?
You are a board certified master arborist.
Oh yeah. As of a year ago, board certified master arborist. I hope I never have to take that test again, but I'm sure glad I did it.
And an incredibly humble guy. You employ 7 certified arborists in the field. And how many non-certified arborists do you employ in the field?
0.
Really, that's an impressive feat. We've talked with Nick Araya, who has a really high percentage of certified arborists, but not everybody. And we talked with Arch Ottenreich, who I believe everybody that he has in the field is a certified arborist or is about to take the test. But companies like yours are so few and far between with that emphasis on education and on credentials. Did all these people come to you as certified arborists, Craig?
All but one of them did. One of our team members was hired as an apprentice, not formally, but casually as an apprentice. He just didn't have enough time in the profession. So once he had reached his 3 years, he took his exam, passed it. And actually, it's worth mentioning that 5 of our 7 field arborists also have their Washington State Department of Agriculture pesticide operator licenses as well.
Oh, wow, that's great. You have 5 people with pesticide applicator licenses.
Correct.
What I just heard. We're going to talk about that later. I'm going to dig into that a little bit
I know.
when we talk about plant health care. I think that's really interesting. So you're obviously looking for that certification when you're hiring people, when you're interviewing people. That's in your application.
Yeah, it's actually in our job ad, and full disclosure, we're not currently hiring, but if you're interested to see what our posting looks like at tree133.com/jobs, you can see the job description for our what we call climbing arborist position. I think we also have the apprentice arborist job description posted. Again, we're not currently hiring, but I'm always psyched to meet good people who would want to come do high quality tree work in Seattle.
Man, if you live near Seattle, you should try to get Craig to hire you. 99 out of 100 tree businesses in America are hiring all the time because either all the tree workers are bad or maybe there's something wrong with the owners. I don't know. When you find someone that a place that people don't leave, that's a place that you might want to end up if you're not in a great place. So I would be checking this out and knocking on Craig's door and being like, look, I've got my spurs. Can I come out with you today?
Well, don't bring your spurs, because most of what we do is pruning. I like to say we do technical tree preservation. We work with big trees in tiny spaces. My team, actually, 4 of my team did a presentation at our PNW ISA chapter conference all about rigging for pruning, because most of the cutting we do needs to be rigged. We're working at heights of 60 to 150 feet over homes, and we do a ton of rope work.
I want to talk about arborist leadership. I know that that's a subject that's near and dear to your heart. Before the call started, you were telling me a little bit about how you've stepped away from being a climbing arborist per se and become more of a business leader or a business arborist. Can you tell us a little bit about that, what that means and why you're kind of making that journey?
Oh yeah, great question. There's a few things that went into it, as I mentioned, sort of in my origin story, I guess. I started in this profession when I was 35, and I'm going to turn 50 this year. And my deal with myself was I wanted to become the best working arborist that I could and get to the point that I didn't have to climb trees for money when I turned 50. That was my goal, and I made it. And part of what I realized was I could do more for trees and I could do more for people by starting a business and bringing together other really high quality arborists that we together as a team could do more than I could ever do individually as a climber. And I never imagined that I would go from climbing full time to almost zero overnight as the company grew, but that's what happened. And 2 years later now, as I shared with you, Nick, my gear stays in the closet. The mind is willing, but the body doesn't remember. And that's a little bit hard to swallow. But seeing that we have, or what we have accomplished with such a great team of people, they're out there doing awesome stuff today. I'm excited to spend the time with you. And then I've got a whole list of things that I'm doing. I'm the primary salesperson and consultant for our company. And so I have plenty of tree things that I'm doing. I don't just sit in my office.
Sure.
But it's been a big transition, but I realized that I can have a bigger positive influence on the world and I can take better care of my team by being a good business leader and owner than trying to keep my foot in the door as a climber.
Give me a couple of examples of what that looks like. Because I mean, like for me, leadership is easy, right? I make all the decisions. I tell people what to do. I'm a great leader, right, Cale?
He definitely makes all the decisions and tells people what to do. That's for sure.
Right? But so like that's obviously not what leadership is, right? But I think a lot of people, especially business owners, they're the leader of their business, and that makes them the dictator, right? The de facto, like I said, I make all the decisions. I tell people what to do. I'm a great leader.
Yeah, dictator is an interesting word. I don't know about the tater part, but the first half of it is classic business owner.
Right. So, and that's what I want to know, like, besides just being the boss, which I think is what everybody wants to be, right? What does being a leader mean to you? And how is it different in arboriculture than in maybe some other fields or careers or markets?
Something that I have learned is that my success as a person, as a business owner, as a provider for my family, my wife and I are co-owners of the business together. I should say our success only occurs when our team succeeds. And we tend to draw business organizations in a pyramid, right? With the owner at the top and the field staff at the bottom. Somebody explained to me one time that pyramid should be done the other way. At the top are our clients. Supporting them, that first level is the field staff. Supporting them is field leadership and the admin team, and supporting everything underneath. Actually, at the bottom, not the top, are the owners. Mm-hmm. It's my job and my wife Joanna's job to do whatever it takes, honestly, to help our team be successful. And we have, call it a symbiotic relationship, right? Employer and employee at our company, and frankly, every others, we are dependent on one another to succeed. And by bringing together good people, creating the best work environment that we can, getting the best tools that we can, that's how we satisfy clients, do profitable, safe, efficient, quality work. And everybody wins. I can't win if my team doesn't win. And I can't win instead of them.
I really like your analogy of the bottom of a pyramid. Another one that I like is that leaders are the amplifier for the team, right? So you're there to make what the team does do more, right? Because you could be the best in the world at something. You're just one person. If you can transfer the skills that made you the best in the world to 10 people and increase them by 15%, their efficiency, maybe they're not the rock star that you are, but if you increase 10 people's efficiency by 15%, didn't you just create another person and a half, which is more than you, right? Like even at rock star level. So yeah, I think that that's a really interesting lens to look at it. You also mentioned a symbiotic relationship, which is a great segue for this piece of equipment that I wanted to talk about.
I want to see it.
I'm so sorry. That was so cheap. But look,
it's perfect.
Look, I'm really excited about this thing. I collect foot ascenders. I have at least 6 of the the old Pantene, the one with the hole in it, because I was sure that when they made the new Pantene that they'd ruined it. I was really disappointed. I'm sorry. I didn't like the fact that it didn't have a locking mechanism, right? And we've seen foot ascenders with standard lockouts like this become kind of the industry standard. Petzl moved away from that. They're back, but they didn't just come with this. They have fixed the great foot ascender problem. And what is, Craig, I didn't prep you on this. What's the problem with foot ascenders, do you think?
In my experience, it rotates around your boot. It's in
the space. The great foot ascender problem, and it's been solved. Check this out, okay? This is a positioning plate on the back side of the boot. You should have seen me earlier. Nice. I spent 5 minutes looking at this in my left boot, wondering why it wasn't computing in my brain. And I was like, oh, this is a left boot. So this is a plastic plate, and you can see that this is a ratchet like you get on a ski boot, right? And you're just able to click this, and it works really well because you can just click the yellow here, right? And it will instantly just come right out, okay? And then to put it on, you just push this through here, and you can just kind of snug it just by pushing it. And then if you really want to get that last click, you can just grab this.
Here, I'll text you my shipping address. Just send it to me. I'll tie it for you.
I'm telling you, look.
You don't play anymore.
I will find someone.
To somebody.
I'm going to wear it around the office.
This is the coolest thing that anybody has ever strapped to their foot to climb with. It is so awesome. It's small. I dare say it's perfect. I was one of the inventors on the Jet Step, right? I helped work on that double cam design, right? That's a product that we sell from one of our house brands. This is the one that you want. This thing is so sweet, okay? And the fact that it's not going to move around on your boot, my foot's not even in this boot. And you can see that I've completely eliminated the movement, and I'm not even trying to tighten it up yet, right? When you have support inside here, this thing is literally locked on. The pressure is distributed on this side, right? And this is actually on a pivot. So regardless of what your boot angle is, this isn't going to be raking across the, what's that, the metatarsal of your foot here. You're able to fit that in. Single most exciting thing ever to happen in foot ascenders. More exciting than the camp rollers, more exciting than the double cammed toothless design. This little back plate is genius. And I just wanted to share it with you. I think you're the first person to see this on a show like this.
I'm super excited. I appreciate you showing me. I wish that I climbed because it looks like exactly what I'd want.
The next thing on our agenda was the importance of safety. You've been training on safety for years. You've done webinars on safety. Tell us a little bit about that and why it's more than just talk with you and how you guys implement it and live it at Tree 133.
Yeah, if I can share just a little quick bit of an experience we had, and some of you may have seen this talk that I've given. I give a talk called Never Waste a Crisis, Lessons Learned from a Serious Incident. Back in September of 22, when I was over at the International Tree Climbing Championship in, where were we? In Copenhagen.
Mm-hmm.
I had a climber fall about 25 feet and severely injure his back. The whys and hows are not important. The what came next is the learning. He did recover completely, came back to work for us. This incident, from a business owner's perspective, aside from challenging everything I thought about myself and our company and our safety culture, because suddenly we had this unthinkable event occur, the financial impact to our company has been beyond anything I ever imagined. I mentioned to you before we started, Nick, I used to think this had cost us $30,000 in increased premiums. What I didn't realize is that year over year over year, our premiums continue to go up, and that we are seeing 3 years of significant dollars per hour increase in premiums. So this one incident, and I don't blame anyone, this is just the way business happens. Something goes wrong. This incident, the best I can tell, is over 3 years, this is going to cost us $130,000, not including the disruption, not including the impacts to this climber's life. And knock on wood, I'm so grateful that he recovered completely and came back to climbing. But out of pocket, it's going to cost us, my estimate is $130,000.
And by that, I mean your business, you and Joanne.
Yeah, I guess us meaning me and Joanna, right? My employees didn't pay this, nor would I, of course, ask them to. But it increased our work comp premiums that substantially over 3 years. That's crazy.
It's crazy.
But putting aside the mathematics behind that, what is really interesting to me is I get it why business owners can be dictatorial about safety. When you have these things happen and the consequences of them, call it the financial consequences, are so severe, there's only one person who pays that, and it's the business owner. But what's really interesting to me is I would still think that the individuals, the arborists, the tree workers on the job site care more about their safety still than I do. It's super important to me for all kinds of personal responsibility reasons and financial reasons. But it strikes me interesting when I see behaviors on a job site that show a disregard for one's own personal safety.
Right. And it's like, I'm benefiting you by risking my safety, like is what it comes down to if I work for you, right? Like I'm benefiting Craig at risk to Nick and Meg and my kids.
Well, and let's recognize that we all work in, or as arborists, we work in a high hazard environment.
Yeah.
And you've heard me talk about this, the difference between hazard and danger. Hazard is something that exists. Hazard is traffic crossing the street. Hazard is using a chainsaw. Danger is a function of behavior. Our behaviors either magnify or minimize that hazard. The way that we handle or manage that is what comes down to doing the job safely, or as safely as we can manage it. And I think it's worth making a plug that there are some things where the hazard is just too high. You probably know Court Sherwood. He was a mentor of mine as a good friend. He said to me many years ago, there's a way to do any tree. It may not be today, and it may not be by you, and that's okay. And we all, business owners, employees, leadership, we all have to be putting safety at the front of our thought process. Because as much as I hate the idea of this incident costing me $130,000, this climber fell 2 feet from a picket fence. And if he was 24 inches the other way, his life is over, or he never works again, never walks again. Yeah. That is far more important than any financial consequence would ever be. And we
Right.
all have to be aligned. We all have to recognize our responsibility to ourselves and to each other for safety on the job site.
Tell me, uh, was you found something, right? Like you went through the whys and the hows, but you found something that was missing, right? You made some type of change. Something was different after the accident than before the accident in the approach or in the evaluation, and that was tactical. It was like a real thing. What were one of those changes, or what was something like that you aha'd, or maybe that you became more conservative in your approach to, that someone else that owns a business could take away and maybe implement?
Yeah, I've got two things that immediately come to mind, Nick. One is from a business owner leader perspective, I realized I had made assumptions. We were a small company at that point. I only had 2 full-time employees, and it was myself and then my wife Joanna even helping part-time in the field, plus the occasional, subcontractor. This was one of my full-time employees that fell, 7 years certified arborist. I realized I had made assumptions about what this person knew and how they were approaching their work. So that was a takeaway for me. Never assume what, the saying is inspect what we expect, do skills assessments, do training, watch each other to understand what do we know and where do we need to continue learning. That was one. And the second is we've implemented what we call consensus tie-in points. That it's one thing to do a pre-climb inspection by Nick when you're going to go climb this tree. It's another thing if Nick and Cale together look at that tree and talk about what is the tree condition, what is the work to be performed, what's an appropriate tie-in point in that species, what's the health of the tree, how might that impact the tie-in points? And it's not like we're trying to guess the final tie-in point from the ground, because we all know when you get in the tree, the perspective changes slightly. But having 2 people look at the tree and discuss appropriate, suitable, or inappropriate tie-in points, that for us was a game changer. That leveled up safety on the job site.
Huh. That's really it's really interesting. It's almost like the crane operator and climber forming a consensus on the estimated pick weight before picking and then checking. And I wonder, do you have part of it is like when you go up there, do you comment on maybe like what the tie-in that you had discussed looks like, and like, oh, that would have been good enough or that would not have been good enough? I think that might be interesting. If you ever like disqualify a tie-in from the ground, you should evaluate it from the air and just gut check that choice, right?
That's a great point. One way that we do that is we have communication between the climber and the arborists on the ground, right? We're all on Bluetooth, so that makes it easy. But we talk about what tie-in points are suitable for a double load or only a single load in order for everyone on the site to understand what the limitations are if an aerial rescue was needed. Whenever possible, certainly we want to climb off of tie-in points that will accept or tolerate a double load. But once in a while, we all know that if you're doing high-level tree work, you got to get up in the tips. And when you transfer to a tie-in point that only is appropriate for a single load, the rest of the team needs to know that, because that would influence their rescue plan.
Huh. So that's something that is like a call out. You're calling an audible over the radio. Hey, I'm moving over to a single tie-in.
Exactly.
Tie-in.
I think an important part of that is also that you're forcing more people to think about the safety and how everything is happening just by having this one thing that, hey, we all have to get together and talk about tie-in points, that everyone's going to start talking about that, and then also everything else has to happen in the job. And yeah, that's really interesting.
This goes back to our hiring model and why I made the decision to hire people with experience and ideally certified arborist credentials. I have long been uncomfortable with, frankly, what was my own experience and is the typical experience where you have a climber and you have Johnny Bag of Donuts going out to do a work. Mm-hmm. And you put the experienced climber in the tree and the new guy or girl on the ground who may or may not have climbing gear, may or may not have any experience. It might be their first day. There's no aerial rescue capability. Yeah. And all the knowledge is up at the top of the tree, so nobody can talk to the client, and nobody's going to be prepared to really respond to an emergency. Our model is, I don't want to say the opposite, but 90 degrees. And we've all had this experience. When you're out doing a project and you have somebody on the ground who's knowledgeable, you have an incredible asset, because now we're looking at the pruning together. We're talking about the rigging. We're setting up a slide line. We're looking at sending a top, and the person standing there looking at the site or holding the rope knows what it's like to be in your shoes, and you know what it's like to be in theirs, and you can have an informed conversation. And you also know you can count on that other person to come get you and to respond appropriately in the event of an aerial emergency.
And you're building skill sets versus just reinforcing old skills. I think there's a lot of value there.
Absolutely. Great. And it's worth saying that being a certified arborist is the entry point to serious arboriculture. It's not the be all end all. It's not the completion. It's the starting point.
I did a field day with Save a Tree, and we were doing just like Mickey Mouse pruning, really nice work, but like hand shear stuff, pole pruning all in the backyard. And we did a safety briefing, and I'm a safety minded guy, but I'm like thinking like, what are we talking about here? Like there's nothing, there are no hazards, right? Creating room for safety, right? Creating a space for it in the day, I think is the key, right? And you're doing that, right? You're creating time for it by saying, we're going to have this consensus thing. And like, look, there's a million hazards on the job, and we can't exhaustively predict or account for them all. But if you make 10 minutes where we talk about tie-ins and I see cars zipping past, I'm going to talk about that in that time, right? So I think having space for it in the job approach, having time for it in the day and in the bid, right, is key. If there's no time to talk about safety, how can we be safe, right? If it's not scheduled, are we going to do it, or are we just going to tie our boots,
Well, and going a little farther with that, I at one point was a volunteer firefighter, went to EMT school. And one of the things I learned is if you didn't write it down, it didn't happen. That's a medical, I guess a tautology is the word, right? It's a principle. And one of the things we've done is we've put together a really practical but thorough job hazard assessment. And whenever I do training, I ask how many people in the room, raise your hand, do you have a job hazard assessment? Do you do it in writing before every job? And it's usually about 10%. I share that JHA with anybody who wants it. And Nick, I would be glad to make that available to our entire audience, to the entire TreeStuff community. May I send that to you or Kale afterward?
Yeah, if you want a copy of Craig's JHA, email live@treestuff.com and we'll send it out to you. And we had talked about doing a couple webinars. Maybe we'll get it published as part of one of the ongoing webinars as well.
Let's do that.
I want to talk about a subject that's near and dear to me, only because you have left the door open on like all sides of the room. We talked about workers' comp going up after an accident. We talked before the call about just the state of workers' comp in Washington. You mentioned that you have 6 people with Washington state pesticide applicators licenses. And I want to know what percentage of your business is plant healthcare?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. For us, it is currently just under 5%.
So I got to ask why that is, right? I think I've made it really clear. Plant healthcare is an easy way to generate incremental revenue for your business, right? It's a larger addressable market. It's an increased wallet share, right? The customer is going to spend a certain amount on pruning, a certain amount on spraying or injection, right? It's a lower workers' comp rate. It's different equipment, right? There's all these good reasons to do it. You're such a smart, business-minded guy, and you have the people, but you haven't done it. And I've talked enough. Now you got to explain to me why you don't do it.
Well, not that we don't do it. And Kale, if you go to that services page, I think there's one that's a plant healthcare or insect and pest management, insect disease.
And disease, yeah.
You do it. Don't do it is the wrong term, but like
we do a small amount of it, and I'll draw a box around it. We do primarily injection-based, either soil or trunk injection-based plant healthcare services, pest and disease management, let's call it that, for major tree killers, bronze birch borer, emerald ash borer as it's coming into the Northwest, Dutch elm disease, Phytophthora. We use Cambistat, plant health or plant growth regulators.
Okay, so you're obviously an expert. You have the pests, but 5% of the business doesn't make sense to me. Shouldn't it be?
So Yeah. So one is we only started plant healthcare 2 years ago.
Okay.
So that's part of the reason. Secondly, I will tell you, I'm discomfortable with running around spraying toxic crap in the environment. So we have a no spray plant healthcare program. Secondly, injections only. Yep, soil or trunk injections.
But
let me keep going.
I like
you
that.
asked the
I
question.
agree with that, and I don't think the no spray is an obstacle, right? There's tons of ways to do IDPM without spray.
So we are also a city-based company. We are literally in the city of Seattle. We have 3,000 square feet of yard space that is full with all of our existing equipment. And speaking openly, that space, including our office and shop, cost me $6,500 a month. My next step from there is to buy a $2 million property, and I'm not going to do it. And so we've had to make some decisions about what is the focus of our business. Plant healthcare, I think, has a lot of value. I have some concerns about it around environmental toxicity, et cetera. But also who Tree 133 is, plant healthcare is a part of it, but our goal is to be, let me say, the most technically skilled arborist firm in Seattle, if not the Pacific Northwest. And I have a team of outstanding climbers, and doing a little bit of plant healthcare is something that everybody enjoys as a break now and then. We literally share that responsibility through our whole team. We don't have any one dedicated plant healthcare person. And what I need and what my team wants to be are, frankly, are kick-ass climbers. And if they spent half the year on a spray truck, those skills are going to go away in a heartbeat. And so in order to really stay sharp, we need to focus on what we do best. And more, we're actually pulling away from doing small ornamental work and focusing on big trees. I'd rather us be working on trees 60 to 150 feet every day of the week, doing a little plant healthcare and a little bit of ornamental as a break, because nobody needs to be doing wicked crown reduction or super big removals every day of the week. It'll just break you over time. But besides those breaks, we continue to reinforce and build our skill set. And what's interesting is because we have the depth in our team where everyone is a skilled climber, they are sharing that responsibility. I work ground one day, I'll climb the next day. I work ground in the morning, I'll climb in the afternoon, and I'll do a little plant healthcare later in the week. It's a really nice balance. And I do think about, can we expand our plant healthcare services? We have some logistical barriers to doing that, as well as some business reasons.
We work with the team at ArborJet, and they help us man an email box, phc@treestuff.com. And it serves as a consultant service for customers, just like you. For anybody on this call, anybody can email. It's totally free. People can send in a picture of a leaf and say, what's the pest? And just get a straightforward answer. Or you can email and say, hey, I want to set up a call and have like a little talk about how to integrate plant healthcare in my business. It's a board certified master arborist with 4 or 6 year college degree in horticulture, right? Or some adjacent field. These are really smart people. They're not trying to sell you any product. What I would ask you, Craig, is have a call with a consultancy call with the guy at ArborJet, right? And just share everything you just shared, the environmental concerns, right? Because you're such a smart guy. If they're BSing people, which I don't think they are, you're going to see through it. And I would just love to hear your feedback on that. Every time we talk about this on the show, and which is why I keep doing it, somebody emails PHC at TreeStuff and they ask, I want to change my business, right? And the team at ArborJet is helping them build that through consultancy. And like, it's really powerful for me that what Kale and I are working on, what you're working on here today with us, has the ability for people to hear, stop, and decide they want to make an improvement to their business, right?
Let me jump in a little bit, Nick. I don't want my remarks to come across as being against plant healthcare.
I don't take it.
I would say that we are a very unusual tree company. We are very unusual because we have to be, both the type of work we're doing and the environment we're in. I know the ArborJet team really well, and I think they're amazing resources. Our plant healthcare program is actually built out with consulting support. Great. So I think your recommendation is outstanding, and I wouldn't enter the world of plant healthcare without professional advice like that. It's an excellent offer you have.
I'm going to check back with you in 2 years and ask you again what percentage of your business is based on plant healthcare. We're going to jump into product talks soon here. I know that you've got to hit the road, so I want to be very respectful of your time.
I've got a few minutes. I can hang with you.
Give you enough. Before we jump into product talk, is there something like product related that you think is interesting, or that you like? You had mentioned that you use Sena or Bluetooth. I assume that's Sena that you guys are using.
Yes, correct.
Is like what do you think is like interesting about product? What product surprised you or surprises you on a daily basis, or do you find invaluable, or do your teams?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think the innovation that's been happening on the mechanical device side,
oh yeah,
is opening up new doors. It's giving more options. I think it's allowing new functionality, whether it's the Vertec or other stationary rope devices.
Yeah, the new ISP Reflex.
Yes, I have not seen it in person,
Looks
but I've heard about it. My team, I think, looked at it, but they don't tell me about those things anymore. They realize they're talking to the wrong guy. But I think the ability to do both SRS and MRS climbing with a single device is a pretty epic opportunity.
Yeah, I'm jazzed for this one too. I mean, admittedly, this is cooler than the new Pantene, but it doesn't strap to your foot. So my claim of the new Pantene being the coolest thing you strap to your foot stands.
Yeah. Is this available now? Is the Reflex?
It's available for pre-sale. Did you know, you see that lower silver button on there on the screen there? If you click that and do something else, you can remove the device from the tie-in point.
Yeah. The swivel just comes right out if you
I did see that in the video.
So you can take it off the rope and leave that swivel on your harness, and you don't even need a carabiner if you have that swivel like right on your bridge, which is cool because it shortens the length. And I think for me, length is the like enemy of sit back, or maybe it's the ally of sit back. I don't know. Length causes sit back, to be clear, and makes everything associated with tending worse. It's a very small feature, but I think it's really important. It's cool.
Nick, I have a question here. Do you know why the Reflex hasn't been approved for ISA competition?
That's a good question for the ISA. Call Mike Tilford.
That was my answer too.
Mike's a great guy, and he's really smart, and he's a total gear nut. So if anybody wants these things to get used, it's Mike, but he'd be the one to ask. Total gear nut. Craig, if people want to get a hold of you, if they have any questions for you, you've always expressed an interest in helping people out. How would people reach out to you?
Yeah, best way to get a hold of me is an email to arborist@tree133.com. You could also go to our website and use the contact form.
Tree133. Craig has also done a variety of webinars for us on a variety of safety and related topics. Can we look at the TreeU program real quick before we let Craig leave?
We haven't talked chainsaw in a while, have we?
I love bold and big claims that are true. This is the single best educational product that's ever been made available about chainsaws. Full stop.
Can I add one comment?
Sure.
I think one of the things that's been interesting about this program that people have said to me is, Craig, I loved it, but I hesitated to buy it. And I just didn't understand why. And they said, because I thought I knew everything I needed to know about chainsaws. I think this confidence that we have, right? As arborists, we have to be confident to go do our job. And sometimes we get in a little deep. But the willingness to step back and say, what can I learn? Where can I pull out some nuggets that will make my life better, that will improve safety, will improve productivity? That's what people have told me this was most helpful in.
Oh my gosh, this is a great class. You rent it for $150. You can let your whole crew watch it on a rain day, right? It comes with CEUs and a paper qualification that you get from us that shows that you've gone through this continuing education. That can be useful depending on what state you live in or municipality for insurance purposes. It's also just, I think, a great way to invest in your teams. How many modules and how long is this class, Kale?
It is 4 hours and 43 minutes. and 12 modules, everything from sharpening, for everything from like putting the bar on the chainsaw, up to doing some basic storm damage. I think.
Oh no, there's like spring pole releases.
Oh, there's
like
talking about
everything.
the which side has compression on it, and like where you should cut to relieve that compression so it's safer. You know,
Can
I
we
mean,
watch the trailer?
it's easy to grab a chainsaw and start it up and just start whacking at things, and then you think you know it from there how to use that chainsaw. But yeah, I mean,
To anyone that's hesitant and thinks they know it all, it's a money back guarantee, right? So if you don't like it, you just email me and we'll give you your money back. Kale, can you play the trailer?
I can.
Hi there.
This was also
My name's Craig Bachmann, lead arborist and manager with Tree 133 in Seattle, Washington.
That's him.
I'm excited to share with you the Tree U Arborist Chainsaw Qualification. Through this half-day video-based training, you'll learn the knowledge and skills to safely, confidently, and efficiently operate a chainsaw in your professional arborist operations. When I first got into this profession, I was handed a chainsaw, a pair of chaps, shown how to start it, and said, "Be careful, son, don't cut yourself." Over the last decade, I've realized how much I didn't know. The knowledge and skills that I needed to work efficiently, to work safely, and to make use of this awesome tool, the chainsaw. Here's what you can expect. We're gonna be in the field, we're gonna be in the yard, we're gonna be in the shop. We're gonna get up close with saws, talk about the details, understand how they work and how you can maintain them. We're gonna take the saws out in the field. We're gonna be felling whole trees. We're gonna be limbing and bucking. We're gonna be talking about moving that wood, how to cut it safely, and how to operate efficiently on the job site. If you're a brand new chainsaw user, this will give you that fundamental knowledge, that background to work safely and efficiently. If you've used saws for a long time, we'll fill in some gaps, we'll add some details, we'll add some new skills to your toolbox to make you more competent, more capable, more skillful. Together, we can become better and safer chainsaw operators. Excited to have you join us. Let's get started.
I'm so jealous of you. You are fantastic, man. I mean, that is it. You're just so good. You have all the skills that I wish I had. I'm so glad that you didn't decide to say, "Hi, I'm Craig Bachmann for TreeStuff.com." 15 years I would have been so screwed. My kids are happy too. No, seriously. Thank you, man, for everything you've done for us, for our customers, right? For, you know, when Craig made this, we didn't pay him to make this, right? He makes money when people buy this. He did this of his own time and investment to make it on a flyer to contribute to the industry. You've given so freely of your time, your expertise, and your experience. And I think the industry is a better place and a better thing because of it, Craig.
Yeah, you're very kind, and I want to be sure that I recognize what you, Nick, and you, Cale, have done, both to be supportive of me as I have grown as an arborist, and of our profession. Really, what TreeStuff has done has changed the experience of arboriculture for all of us, and I can't say enough about it. You guys are great.
It's been a fun ride. We're going to have Craig doing some new webinars. If you want to watch some of Craig's older webinars that you can get free CEUs for, you can go to treestuff.com/webinars. You can also find out about upcoming events there where you can get more free CEUs and learn about more exciting topics. Craig, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to let you go. And then Cale's going to spin the wheel and I'm going to espouse hopefully some knowledge about a product or a category randomly.
It's my pleasure. See you later.
Thanks, Craig.
All right, spin the wheel. Let's do this. Let's see what we land on.
I hope it's not PHC or chainsaws.
Spurs.
I feel like we just talked about Spurs, didn't we? Didn't we just do Spurs?
I don't. Hey,
it's been talk about Spurs. Let's talk about Spurs.
All right, Spurs. Climbing, tree climbing gear. Oh no, Spurs. That's right. We have a couple different sections of Spurs here.
So I think I'm going to burn through it, right? Here are my thoughts and recs on Spurs. The notch steel spurs are the best value that you can get in the segment for sure in terms of dollars to features. I think that the Edelrid Talons are the nicest. Those are not the Talons. The Edelrid Talon, I think, is the highest comfort or highest quality product that you can get, right? Think of that as like the Maserati of Maseratis aren't comfortable, I'm told. I've never been in one, but think of it as like the Cadillac, right? Super comfortable. I worked with the team on Edelrid years ago to help build this product. So did Kale. It's really nice. These guys pioneered kind of that three-dimensional shift in the shank. The foam is thicker than anything else. The price is kind of a stinger. If you're in spurs a lot, I think you'll really like these. They also brought the two-part instep strap to market. You're seeing this on other brands of spurs now. But what you see here is instead of a single strap being mounted on the J-hook side of the stirrup and then being able to rotate around the stirrup, you have a back strap that goes from the J-hook around to and fixes to the stirrup, and then a front strap that also goes. Both of them offer like a Velcro waist compression. So what you do is you set the back heel strap to fit the kind of throw length of your heel, whatever that is, right? And you set it and forget it. You open the front strap, kick your heel into the spur, like set it firmly into that back strap, which is fixed, right? It's not elastic. And then you just crank the front one down. The spur is so much more comfortable. It's similar. It's actually really similar to how this new Petzl Pantene click is going to work. Mm-hmm. It is really similar to the thinking behind this, and it actually provides a really similar effect in that the spur is less likely to want to rotate on the vertical line of your boot. So you see that on the notch steel climbers also have a two-piece. Yep. I believe that some of the Gecko models are also including that as well. I would be looking for that.
The Gecko models are mostly just like your ultra lightweight models that the Geckos have. And they've all been updated with the quick release instead of your Velcro. So that's this little, what is it called? The Cobra buckles or something like that?
Well, those are like their Cobra style. I'm not sure that they are Cobra manufactured.
But yeah, it's that quick connect. Whereas the notch steel climbers now have that double style like the Edelrid does.
And despite the cool effect of the buckle, to me, this is better, the Velcro. Mm-hmm. I really like this spur. If I was buying a spur for someone that worked for me, I would buy this one. If I was buying a spur for myself, I would buy the Talon for sure. Unfortunately, I'm not sure that there's a lot going on in spurs other than Notch and Edelrid that I would personally recommend to people. I think whether, if you want an aluminum spur or the Notch Gecko aluminum, if you want carbon fiber, they have that. The price on that is really a stinger before folks go looking. I buy like the nicest stuff usually. I really want to always have like the highest end version of something. I have never bought or owned a pair of the carbon fiber spurs, so people can take that for what it is. The steel ones are really nice. The Gaff Guardian 2, I think, is an indispensable spur product. Full disclosure, it's another one that I was involved in, but I still think it's awesome. It fits on every spur. It is 100% going to stop any injury or damage to the bag. Doesn't fall off, won't wear out, hard to lose, easy to find on the ground, nice bright color, cheap.
Nick, do we sell the lower buckles separately? There's the Buckingham lower straps. Those are very expensive. Here we
do.
go.
It's right there.
Yeah. Yep. There we go.
I think, if I'm being honest, I think that the quick connect is more of a quick disconnect than it is a quick connect. Mm-hmm. It's more about getting out of my spurs quicker than getting into them faster, because I still want to tighten that Velcro down to get it tight, and I can't tighten it and then connect that thing, right? Because my foot is like not that squishy. It's personal preference. I assume that was for a question in the chat. So hopefully whoever asked that was able to hear my answer. let's go ahead and move on to a giveaway before we run out of time at 1 o'clock. You know, the internet's going to shut us down at 1 p.m.
Do you want to talk about the challengers?
I do. I'm so excited. Let's just show, we just show the video, I guess.
Okay.
And I'll be quiet.
Let me go.
Hi, my name's Nick Bonner. Do you think the two people that work in your shop can footlock faster than me? I'll come out to your shop and I'll race two of your employees. And if they beat me, I'll give them each $500 to spend at the store. $500. These guys are both professional climbers. I'm a desk jockey, but I'm tall. I love the footlock, and we're going to go and have some fun. Val Brito and Jake Slade, two of the New England's best climbers, are waiting for me down in Connecticut. Will they walk away with an extra $1,000 in their pocket? Let's find out. 3, 2, 1, go!
Oh, man. Here's what I'm going to say. It was closer than I expected it to be. Val's a big boy.
He's a big guy.
And quite handsome. Whether he was fast enough, you're going to have to tune in and find out on Saturday, I guess. Yep. I received a couple of emails about challenging us over the Christmas break. I also received like 1,000 other, like much more work-related emails over that time. So I deleted all the ones that were about the show because it was Christmas. We are going to be looking to set up a challenge in the New England area, hopefully, for February. If you're watching and you want to footlock challenge me in the New England area and February is on your schedule, drop an email at live@treestuff.com or give us a call while we're live on the show one day, send us a chat message, mail, whatever you want, and we'll see about getting you fit. We are continuing to challenge people and are excited about it. Kale, let's give something away on today's.
All right,
my God, is it a magic eye?
All right, so if you are unaware, each broadcast we gave away $300 to TreeStuff to 3 people, or to however many people Nick just decides randomly.
100 to 3 people.
And so last week's, you had to guess which rope was not Samson Dinosaur in this picture. We had kind of like put Samson Dinosaur over. It was a lot. But we did have 10 people figure out that it was Samson Ivy.
It was the rope that was right next to this rope. It was on the page.
Yeah. Well, only if you went to the right page.
The Samson brand page, yeah.
Yeah, but so
10 people figured that out.
10 people figured that out.
Thank you guys so much for your effort and excitement.
Pretty impressive. So cool. Yeah. So we can see if my script works.
It's not going to work. It never works.
3, 2, 1. 9, 2, and 8. That's Leon, Litzy, and Blake Fry are our winners.
Congratulations. Blake, I have your email in my box, and the answer to your question is just an audience, my man. Not really interested in a bunch of other details. Blake knows what I'm talking about.
All right. And then
Blake and I have a special connection. I don't know if you know that.
Okay. I know Blake is one of the people who's been
that's a magic eye. Hold on, let me stare at it for a second.
This is a magic eye.
It's working. Hold on.
It does work.
It worked. Wow, that is so cool.
It was extremely easy to make. It was actually really cool. So you might be seeing a whole bunch of magic eye stuff on our Instagram. Our next promotion is just going to be all magic eye.
Like a web service that you use.
It's like a little web service.
I
put in the image and then chose a pattern and then it popped it out in a second. It was great.
Decode it, can they? They can't decode it with that same web service, can they?
I don't think
the answer is no.
No. Yeah, you gotta do it. Come on.
Oh my God, Kale! Listen, guys, if you're listening to this on the Spotify broadcast, right? The show is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, basically anywhere that has like an XML podcast feed. But if you're listening to this, there is no joke like a circa 1998 magic eye on the website, and it works flawlessly. I even did it with my astigmatism. Super cool. If you can guess what the magic eye is.
TreeStuff.com/win.
Yeah, you don't have to be live for that either. You can catch that anytime before next week's broadcast ends at like 12:50ish. So I'm traveling next week. I'm going out to Sampson.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're gonna try to have a show, but I don't promise a show next week. I do promise a show the week after next. Okay, and I apologize about getting if it turns out to be a false start this week and not being back next week, but we're going to try to do something from Washington. I'm not sure what that looks like, but we're going to give it a go.
Yeah. It might just be me and David Anderson.
It could also be that my plane doesn't leave until Wednesday night and we're fine. I have to check. But yeah, so hopefully we're here next week. And if you were watching today, we really appreciate it. Please feel free to drop us comments or email live@treestuff.com. We also take phone calls the whole time we're on during the show. Nobody called in this week. 833-498-7337. That's 83 Fixed Trees. Kale?
Yeah.
Anything?
No,
Awesome.
That's it. Thanks for watching, everybody.
A technical masterpiece. Great job.
Great. Have a good one.
Thanks, everybody.